Hey y'all, I'm filming my empties video today and I haven't filmed my empties in a long time. And I do feel like I have a pretty robust bunch, but it's not like a massive number of empties. And I think that that's why I haven't filmed in a long time, but I'm way overdue. And there's definitely enough for a good video, but it's going to be kind of interesting because these are some empties I've been collecting over the course of several months. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you clicked on this video. My name is Hannah and I love beautiful things, but I try not to overspend. I budget to keep myself from spending too much on beautiful things. And I try not to push stuff on you guys either. I want to be able to review beauty and celebrate beauty, but without encouraging overspending. That's my goal up here. And if that sounds good to you, I hope you will subscribe to my channel. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of this empties video. Here's the situation. I've been keeping my empties in this box, which is just, you know how when you move, well, at least this is true for me as like a creative person or a person who like runs operations like this, like I run my YouTube operations. Whenever I move and I'm in a new physical space, it takes like a long time to figure out how to make the systems of my life run properly with the new constraints and in some cases freedoms of the physical space. So my empties have been jumping around from like bins to boxes to drawers to things, and right now they're in this box. I'm just gonna go through one by one, but in no particular order because that's what I've been doing for like, I think a year now. So it's probably time for me to stop announcing that I'm going in no particular order because this has become status quo. Ooh, but I'm gonna start with the thing that I'm kind of the most excited to tell you about. This Dove body scrub. So my friend Simbri sent this to me. She knows how much I love body scrub and she'd seen me over and over again talking about the thing about body scrub, which is that I do love using it, but it's just so hard to find a body scrub that's at a good price per ounce for someone who goes through it by the handful, that someone being me. So she sent me this Dove one because the price is really, really good. I think it's like $5 for this big tub. And this is a 10.5 ounce tub. It did last me quite a long time, partly because it's pretty creamy and fine grained, and the grains are little and scrubby. So it kind of feels like in the world of body scrubs, a little goes a long way, as opposed to like a scrub that has these giant granules of salt or sugar, which some of them have in them. So I did feel like if it had been my money instead of Simbri buying it for me, I did feel like I would have gotten my money's worth, but I haven't yet been stimulated to repurchase it. I miss it. I technically probably shouldn't, even though I could kind of call it a replacement. I don't have any more budget left to spend in a year, and we're already partway through December, so I'll probably just wait it out. But I bet in January I'll buy some more of this because it's really great, and I might try the other scents. I think they've got like a mango one and a lavender one. This one was crushed macadamia and rice milk. It smells a little bit like classic drugstore creamy scents. Like it, I always think of it as like it has that Herbal Essences conditioner scent. And it doesn't actually smell like Herbal Essences conditioner. It's just, there's something about the sort of like the standard drugstore cozy milky scent that I feel like is best recalled when I remember my Herbal Essences conditioner days, which was like, you know, when I was 11. But it's not unpleasant. It's not like I smell it and I'm like, my Herbal Essences days. It's just, it doesn't smell like a Lush product. It doesn't exactly smell high end, but it's pleasant enough that I could live with it. And I think I probably would buy another one of these. But what I was gonna say is that I think the reason I didn't buy it instantly is that I still feel like body scrub is kind of an indulgence for me in terms of a body cleansing product because soap lasts so much longer and it's really hard for me to keep myself from using it every time I'm in the shower when I have something like this. So even though it's such a good price, if I were to spend $5 on it, it would probably be like something I would use it up like within a month. And so that would be $5 that I had spent entirely just for the use of it for a couple of weeks or for a month. Whereas with the soaps that I'm buying these days, like the big pump bottle of Bioderma, it's like $17 for the huge pump bottle and it lasts for months and months and months. So I just feel like it's not too much of an indulgence for me, especially not the Dove one. But I'm still treading lightly around the idea of buying body scrubs. Oh, I'm so glad that I remembered to keep this in here because otherwise I would totally not have remembered to tell you about it. Speaking of soap, and speaking of soap that I've used up, this was the little I guess it's like a muslin sheath that was around a beautiful bar of soap that was sent to me by this little family run farm that makes goat milk products. It was a goat's milk bar of soap. So it's Red Fox Farm, but the business is called the Naughty Goat. That's like the branding for their goat products. They sent me 2 bars of soap. One was this one, which was cherry blossom scent, I think. Yeah, cherry blossom scent. And I was gaga for the scent of this soap. It smelled so good. I usually don't like floral scents, but it had some sweetness. It had sort of this fresh, creamy, almost like vanilla perhaps sweetness mixed with the cherry blossom. But then the cherry blossom wasn't that super floral like gardenia or anything like that. It was like a creamy, sweet floral scent. And the thing that impressed me the most about it, because the soap it's like clearly handmade, really beautiful. You can tell that it was like poured and then cut from a bar, it was sort of swirled white and pink. And usually when soaps are like that, they have this sort of like rustic feel about them. They always just smell like lavender bushes. Like a weak bit of lavender scent has been applied to the soap. And I'm not against the scent of lavender. I just feel like the thing that I'm always forfeiting if I decide to go for like a natural, handmade, like family owned business soap is that like beautiful, rich, cozy scent that wraps up your whole body. I just feel like little businesses often don't make the scent strong enough in their soaps, or if they are strong, it's just like the scent of one pure essential oil and not like a blended perfume scent, not like a delicately balanced scent. So the thing about this bar of soap is that I loved the scent. It was very much like a delicately balanced perfume scent. Like it smelled like something you would have gotten from Lush, and the intensity was high. I could smell it on my body like all night. After I would wash myself, I often shower at night, so I'd wash myself with it, and then I'd go get in bed, and I could still smell it, and I felt like I was wrapped in a cozy blanket of that scent. So that is what really impressed me about this bar of soap. I'm really grateful. They sent this to me. I don't remember if I said that to you. The Naughty Goat. They sent this to me. They sent me another bar of soap, which is a blackberry scent, and it is also really beautiful, but it's really fruity, and that's not my absolute favorite thing. And knowing that the scent is so strong and lasting, I decided to give it away as a gift. So I'm going to send that to someone in like a Christmas package. But it's so strong that like when it was just sitting out in my room, I could smell it as I was walking around my room. And I'm sure that if I loved sweet fruity scents like that, I would love that one too. But the cherry blossom one was the one for me. They also sent me this solid perfume in the scent of Divine Angel, which is another like, it smells like a Lush scent, you guys. I mean, not like a dupe for one. Like it's not like I've smelled it before. It's just the quality of it and the intrigue and the sophistication. Creamy vanilla, which I love, like warm and spicy, but it has a little bit of an edge to it. And you know, it's like a perfume balm. And it's in this cute wooden thing. And they also sent me a lip balm in this cute wooden thing, which I am probably going to give as a gift because I have a number of lip balms going right now. But I'm sure it's great, judging by everything else that I've tried. And I love getting PR from small brands, especially ones like this. It's like there was like a personalized note in it, and they, you know, they're not running like a giant influencer marketing campaign. I think that they're just like dipping their toes into the waters of sending stuff out to a couple of people, and the product is really, really good. So I'm happy to be able to share it with you because I know that a lot of you guys are really into supporting small businesses when you buy gifts, like buy holiday gifts, and 'tis the season. Should we talk about some skincare? There's a bunch of Derma E stuff in here, or that's how I feel, but there's two Derma E there's two Derma E things in here. It's a bunch to me. So this one I actually had for a long time and used up. It's the Vitamin C Gentle Daily Cleansing Paste. This is a great product. I feel, and it's funny because I don't feel like vitamin C is like a very popular ingredient. So all the brands are like, there's vitamin C in it, there's vitamin C in it, and you should use it, there's vitamin C in it. And I'm like, no, like vitamin C, it's great for your skin, but if you really want to put vitamin C on your face, you should use a pure vitamin C serum first thing in the morning after you wash your face. And then that's it. It doesn't have to be in your cleansers and your moisturizers and all this stuff. You should apply the ingredient topically and then just use moisturizing and cleansing stuff for moisturizing and cleansing. So it's not the fact that there's vitamin C in this that impresses me, and I don't feel like I was getting my vitamin C treatment from this product. It just happens to be part of their vitamin C line. The thing that impressed me was the consistency. It was like a watery paste, and it was brilliant, sort of reddish gold. It's a turmeric color. It says with golden turmeric and ancient rice. And it was a little bit grainy, but really fine grains. It didn't feel like it was messing up my skin. And it has, I feel like, some acids in it. Yes, it has a number of acids that I don't really know what they are. Myristic acid, benic acid, palmitic acid, lauric acid, and stearic acid. But it felt exfoliating, not just in the granular sense, but it felt mildly chemically exfoliating. And it was this product that you can put it on and leave it and let it kind of mask on your face for a couple of minutes, or you can use it as a cleanser. And I often did both. I would get in the shower, I would do my first cleanse with like a balm or oil, and then I would put a layer of this on my face, and then I would wash my body with the naughty goat. And then a couple minutes later, I'd come back and exfoliate, and it would feel like it had chemically exfoliated my skin, and then a little bit of soft physical exfoliation with the very, very fine granules. And it did feel like it was polishing my skin gently. And I did feel like it was kind of helping me fight the breakouts that I've been dealing with lately. It's kind of been my second cleanser of choice for quite a while. But the thing is, I was able to use it night after night, and it didn't feel like it was drying out my skin. I feel like exfoliating products, you often want to space them out like once or twice a week, but this was gentle enough to be used every day. And indeed, it's called Gentle Daily Cleansing Paste. So it's an unusual product, an unusual formulation. It doesn't really fit neatly into the boxes that we've become used to for different types of skincare products. And I feel like they really are onto something with this formula over at Derma E. This is another thing related to acne. They sent me a while back this little kit of like acne, some of their acne fighting products. This is their blemish control line. So this was a sample size of their blemish control treatment serum. And this arrived to my old apartment right around the time we were moving, and I was super stressed out, and that was when this acne was starting up again. I don't think it was just because of stress. I think it's a bunch of stuff, but I've been like staving it off. It's like all along my chin and jawline for months now, but that was like the first wave of it. And this arrived right when it kind of arrived. And I started using it, and it really helped calm those blemishes. I remember specifically the week that we were packing to move, I had an ear infection and I was breaking out, and we were packing, and I was so miserable. And I remember this came in the mail, and I opened it, and the first night I just put a thick layer of this. It's a really, it's not a super watery serum. It's like almost gel serum. Put a thick layer of it over the acne I was experiencing. And I woke up the next morning, and it was like the first time I felt like it had met its match a little bit. It was just all calmed down. It has tea tree oil in it, and tea tree oil is a bit drying. It's antibacterial, and it will definitely work that way to kind of like, it's like a immediate minimization of what's going on, like an immediate kill for the blemishes. I feel like it's not the one, I wouldn't want this to be like my only product that I'm using to fight acne, because I would want to go at it with other things besides tea tree as the main ingredient. But I was so grateful that they sent this to me. It helped so much. And I actually got an email from the Derma E people a couple of weeks later, and they were kind of just like, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I loved this blemish control treatment serum so much. I've pretty much used up the entire thing. And then they sent me a full-size one, and I've been using it consistently to help with this acne in collaboration with other moisturizing things to make sure that my skin doesn't get too dried out. But it's one of the main things that I've been using now for months to help fight my breakouts. And speaking of acne, this was in the Yes Style Advent calendar. This is the Purito. They're like salicylic acid. Well, actually, I'm not sure they're salicylic acid. No, so it's metacasic acid and asiatic acid, and they're a hydrocolloid patch. So it's Centella asiatica, which is like the calming ingredient that is in a lot of K-beauty stuff right now, a lot of K-beauty skincare. But it's also a hydrocolloid patch. So the hydrocolloid thing, it's like a little piece of plastic that draws out moisture. So it's really good for putting on a blemish that has impurities in it near the surface. You can see if it's kind of swollen, if it's a little bit pussy. and you're tempted to break the surface, or if you already have popped it out and it's still kind of watery, or sometimes there's stuff in it but it's too far under the surface and you can't extract it. For any of those situations, a hydrocolloid patch can be really good because it pulls moisture into it. I will wash my face, put the little patches on at night, and then in the morning, especially if one was particularly like far along, when you peel the hydrocolloid patch off, it's like plumped up with gross stuff. You can like see the stuff has moved out of your skin and into the patch. So you stick it on and it's like this flat, clear thing. And then when you peel it off in the morning, it's almost like there's a little pod or it's almost like it's become the blemish itself. Like the interior of the blemish has like become the interior of the patch. So you can really see that it's working. And it also helps to flatten, it helps with swelling. And these ones are particularly nice. I mean, hydrocolloid patches come in like all shapes and sizes, and you can get them from a lot of brands. I found these to be particularly calming because they have Centella asiatica in them. And so I felt like it was advancing the healing of the blemishes even as it was draining them. So I really liked these. I think I still have some other hydrocolloid patches from somewhere else. It's not like I'm going to run out and buy these tomorrow, but I wanted to report back about them because I did try them. I did use them up. And they're good. This, I think, was also in the Yes Style Advent Calendar, the Neogen Dermology Probiotics Relief Mask. It's a sheet mask, and it's too small for my big face. I think there were like 4 or 5 of them in there, and I used one, and I gave all of the rest to Julia because her face is like really tiny. Compared to mine. Maybe mine's really big compared to hers. But she always complains that sheet masks are way too big for her face. So she was delighted. Oh, this is interesting. These 2 eyebrow serums that I've had. So this one's by Cell. It says CEL, Brow and Lash Boosting Serum. And this one's by Babe Lash. And I received both of these as PR towards the end of last year. I think they're both, this one says brow and lash. This one's supposed to be mostly lashes, but I was just using them both in my brows. And I struggled to remember to apply them. Like I didn't think I used them very much, but I sort of decided to renew my efforts because I felt like my brow hairs were starting to get a little bit sparse. I will say though, I'm aware that hairs, and I think this is true of lashes and brow hairs, they kind of go on a cycle. So sometimes your brows are thinner and sometimes they're thicker. So I definitely noticed this, and my lashes too, like they'll feel a little thin and then they'll sort of like grow back with a vengeance. I think it's normal to go through periods where you're like, my brows are looking kind of raggedy, and then you're like going through a period where you're like, my brows are lush and glossy. So my brows were looking kind of raggedy, and I was like, I'd like to start using these more to boost them, because it could have just been cyclical, but it could also have been stress and aging and the shock of this unprecedented year and all of the changes that have been going on in my life. I just feel like I'm aging like 6 months every day. This year. I just feel like I feel like I've aged 10 years this year. And I see it in like my skin and my brows. So I picked one night, I was like, I want to do stuff in my brows. And I picked this up and I noticed that it was all separated and watery and gross, the one from Cell. And then I looked at the Babe Lash one and I noticed that it's expired. It has like an expiration date on it. I didn't want to put either of them on my brows. And weirdly, I recently got an email from Cell about like a class action lawsuit against them about the fact that the ingredients that are in their products don't really do what they say they're going to do. And so I was like, because that's what it looks like. It looks like it's just a tube of like gross water and not any kind of serum. So I don't trust this as far as I can throw it, and I don't want to put this on because it's expired. So I replaced them. I purchased a replacement, and I don't think I've told you about it yet, but it wasn't this month. It's because I haven't done empties in a long time. I did perhaps mention it in passing when I was filming my vanity in one of those Shop My Stash videos, but I'm going to show you what I got to replace them. So after much research and the reading of many reviews and some conflicting information, I decided to just get pure castor oil and use it in my brows. So I ordered this. It's actually like a certified organic cosmetic grade castor oil, which sounds fancy, but it's this giant bottle for just like $10. And you can use it also on your lips and on your skin too. I mean, I think it's quite a thick, viscous oil. And I think, especially because I deal with acne, I'd be worried that if I put it all over my face, it would break me out. But you can use it on like the tips of your hair. It's just castor oil. You can use it for whatever. But because this one's being marketed and sold as something that can help with growth in your brows, it comes with these little spoolies that you can use to brush it through, and they're quite nice and like fluffy. I actually think it's helping. And again, it could just be the natural cycle of things. So I'm not over here being like, castor oil grew my brows back, but my brows are definitely in better shape than they were some months ago. And I also, for some reason, find this easier to remember to apply than I ever did with these. And it might be because it's bigger and it's like sitting on my vanity. I'm keeping it in this little bowl because it's really messy. It's very, very thick and viscous, and it comes in this, like, do you see that? So really, no matter what you're doing, it's hard to even take the dropper out and then put it back in without a bunch of it kind of getting scraped off onto the mouth of the jar and then running down the sides. I was trying to keep it clean, and it was driving me crazy. So I just put it in here, and I'm like letting it collect in the bottom, and then maybe once a month I'll like clean it up. And that's been a good system for me. But for some reason it's easier to remember to put it in, maybe because it's bigger and I see it. But I think I enjoy applying it to my brows. It's like this really viscous oil, and I brush it through, and it's like coating every hair. And I also feel like some of it gets down onto my eyelids, and it's helping to moisturize my lids and maybe even getting down a little bit onto my lashes. I could be applying it directly to my lashes if I wanted to. I just don't, I feel like that's just like a step too far. I don't have time for that. I have time to put it in my brows, and then that's kind of it. And if some residual gets down onto my lashes, maybe they'll grow like gangbusters too. In any case, I'm very pleased with that, and I'm pleased that it was only $10. Oh, this is kind of interesting and a little bit a little bit weird. It's not a beauty. I mean, I guess it's kind of a beauty thing, but I am really interested in digestion because I've struggled with it over the course of my life from time to time. And so I'm pretty invested in trying to find out how to keep my gut microbiome as healthy as possible. And when I come across, I'm passionate about it in the way that I'm passionate about like skincare and makeup. So when I come across stuff, I'll often share it. So, but this is interesting because I actually have a friend, like an old, really good friend through Tango, who works for this company. It's called IsoThrive. And she also is really interested in the gut microbiome and in gut health. And it's one of the things that we'd like get together and talk about it for hours. So she started working for this company. They sell, it's like a prebiotic, they call it a prebiotic nectar, but it's basically prebiotics, but beyond what you can get from like yogurt or from like probiotic capsules that you might take, because it's got some kind of proprietary blend in it. Anyway, she knew that I would like it. She sent me a box because she started working for them, and I actually really like it. And so when I used the last little sachet, I threw it in my empties because I was like, I'll just tell people about it in case there's anyone else out there who is interested in gut health the way that I am. You know, I just like, my body doesn't, I'm not celiac, but my body doesn't digest gluten very well. It really doesn't digest most grains very well. And I have been eating a lot more grains and stuff than I usually do. It might be part of why I've been dealing with this acne, because for me, when I eat too many things that I struggle to digest, it will like show in my skin. But I have felt like taking this, I can eat stuff that I usually struggle to digest, and it doesn't sit like a brick in my stomach. I just feel like it has helped my body do a much better job. Like something in there is really psyched and is like, we can do anything now that you're taking this thing. And I love that. So I actually I bought myself another box of it after I ran out of it, even though Alyssa had sent me the box just to try for free. And I think that I'm going to try to get Joe to start taking it because he's been struggling to digest some stuff that he usually doesn't struggle with lately. The one thing that I really think is awful about it is that it's like a little, it's very awkward delivery mechanism. It comes in like a little foil packet, and it's like a little sweet tasting syrup. You open the foil packet and then you suck it. You suck it out like a little hummingbird. And I just think that's demented. I'm just like, why is it not in a pill? Like, I wish it was just in a pill because it creates a lot of extra waste and it's awkward. And sometimes I don't feel like I want to like take the supplement, but I don't want to like taste this sweet nectar. And I mean, it doesn't taste bad. And on plenty of days I was like, oh, yum, 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 just like a little hummingbird. But sometimes I was just like, really? And I wish there was a way to just swallow it. The effects were so clear that I would have easily just taken it. I probably would have taken it more often if I had just been able to take it with my vitamins, like swallow it like a pill. As it was, I forgot to take it every single day. And so this box, which is supposed to last a month, lasted like 3 months or something, because I would like only remember to take it every third day. But even then I felt the effects. So I hope that they will start offering it in a different format instead of those little pouches. But even though I'm so against that, I liked taking it so much and I felt that it was so powerful that I bought myself a box. So go figure. Oh, sad. This is kind of sad. So this came in PR a while back. Fresh sent it to me. It's the black tea firming overnight mask. I really like it, but it fell off of, I had almost used it up completely and it fell off of my vanity and it hit the floor funny and the lid cracked in such a way that it's not even remotely airtight. And for a couple of days after that, I kept using it because I was like, I'm going to use it up, but I couldn't get through it. And it started getting like gummy and dried out. And then I was like, it's probably not a good idea to keep using this because it's been exposed to the elements. But I'd say I probably got like 9/10 of the jar used up. There's probably just like about a tenth of it left. You know how I feel about Fresh. I think this is a really beautiful product and I like using it, but the price point's too high for me. So I use this kind of thing and enjoy it a lot when it comes in PR, but I'm not going to go out buying it. Oh yeah, I'm peeping the box. We have some genuine makeup empties in here, but I'll save them for the very end. There's just a few skincare things left. This similarly to the Fresh thing, this is the kind of thing, this Peter Thomas Roth moisturizer, that I'm really lucky to get in PR. I loved using this actually when I had it. And I've already talked about it in The Reckoning not that long ago. It's the Firmex Collagen Moisturizer. I talked about the fact that putting collagen ingredient, putting things that have collagen as an ingredient in them on your skin doesn't increase the collagen in your skin. It just moisturizes your skin. Even though collagen is a thing in the skin that helps with elasticity, it just doesn't work that way. You can't like apply collagen topically and increase the elasticity of your skin. But moisturizing is a good thing to do. So, I don't really buy that side of the marketing, but I did think that this was a really, really good thick, waxy gel cream for overnight. I was basically reaching for it instead of any of the other ones that I have until it was gone. And I'm very grateful that I got the chance to use it. But just like the Fresh, I'm not going to go out and replace it with my own money because I'm happy with the Derma E one, which is very inexpensive. And this, I feel like I've talked about this recently. Oh, again, the Yes Style Advent Calendar, there was a serum kind of like this in it. And I talked about the fact that it was almost finished with this, and now I am completely finished with it. It's the Nacific Fresh Origin Serum. It's an oil, what do they call it? A biphase serum. So it's like a watery serum with oil on top, and you shake it together, and then you apply it together. And I like biphase things because you get that, it's like a soft oil, but it goes in like a watery serum and then it leaves a residue behind instead of soaking in completely. I just like the way that this kind of thing applies to the face. This one has the added benefit of smelling amazing. I mean, it's like bright, strong, sweet citrus. And I loved using it and I loved the finish. It had a kind of like a particularly soft, oily finish and it felt really moisturizing. I loved using this for the 7 Skin method and I'm going to miss it. The time has come for you to lip sync for your makeup empties. So I said that these were good and proper makeup empties, but one of them is actually just something that I'm decluttering. And I have used a good bit of it. It's the Dermalogica Hydra Blur Primer. I think Lauren gave this to me a long time ago. And I like the finish of it. It's a very silicone-y. It doesn't feel like it's silicone, and it might not even be silicone based, but it has that slippy barrier feeling, like it makes a barrier. I like the feel of it, and I felt like it prepped my skin really well. So I was intermittently using it. And then recently this thing started happening where I would apply it. It comes out white, but then it kind of buffs out, looking like it has a very pale, maybe slightly beige color. I would apply it to my skin and then I would finish applying it and look at my hands, and my hands would be sort of crusty with this weird beige, like almost like I was applying a BB cream or something that was a little bit dried and weird. So I don't know if it's just gotten really old or if it was always doing that and I never noticed it before, but something's off about it and it's not really, I don't want to use it anymore. It's not really like doing for me what I wish primers to do for me. Yeah, I can see it. Even now, I just rubbed it into my hand like this. What it looks like is that it oxidized into my fingerprints and left behind this kind of like really dark yellow beige crusty thing. And I think that was probably happening on my face too. So it's over. But these are 3 makeup empties, good and proper. So the first one is the Patrick Ta Major Brow, the Brow Wax. You guys know how I feel about this. I gave it rave reviews. I think it's a gorgeous product. And by the end of it, I felt like I'd kind of gotten my yayas out and I didn't feel like buying it again. I went back to soap. I bought that bar of Ortigia Sicilia soap and I love that soap. It's what I have in my brows today. I love it. So I'm not going to buy this again, but I don't think that it was a bad choice. It was a nice thing to have for a little while. The one thing that I couldn't have told you about that became frustrating over the life of this was that it's hard to open. And especially when your hands are slick with anything like primer or skincare, it's very difficult to get it open. It's like, it's not, it's not ideal. It's not well designed in that way. I would say it lasted something like 5 months, all like at the end of the day. I thought I was going through it really, really quickly, but then to use it all up really, really, it kind of ended up lasting a good length of time. I think the value for money ended up being okay, but I'm using the soap now, so I'm not going to replace it. My NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, it was like 3+ years old, and there was only a little bit left around the edges, but I thought I was starting to suspect that the color had changed a lot. Like it was so old that the color had changed a lot. And then when I replaced it, I swatched them next to each other and I saw that indeed this had darkened quite a bit and it was no longer a match for my skin. So that's reason enough to not use it anymore because it didn't really work as it's supposed to anymore. But that also told me that it probably had gone off in other ways and wasn't something I wanted to be putting on my skin anyway. So that has already been replaced with the same thing. I repurchased it. And then lastly, this is the Hourglass Veil Retouching Fluid in Vanilla. I purchased this, I think at the beginning of the beginning of 2019 when I was looking, or was it like a replacement product during my no-buy year? I can't remember, but it was at some point I was looking to, I was looking for like a new life in concealer. I wanted my concealer to be like really like thin and watery and blendable and really skin-like. And I got really sucked in by the marketing of this. It does do that though. I mean, I think it's very beautiful. It definitely has that effect. When I apply it, it definitely is very blurring and really skin-like and is really lovely. Like it's a great product. It's just too dark for me. The lightest shade doesn't go even remotely light enough to be brightening on me and to be like the kind of fluid concealer that I would want this to be. So I think that when I purchased it, I got it in conjunction with my Makeup Forever one, Makeup Forever HD. And the idea was that I would use them together and this would give me that like blurring consistency and the Makeup Forever would give me the brightening. But the Makeup Forever one's so good on its own and so skin-like that I've just ended up using it and struggling to remember to incorporate this. And then the Erin's Faces one came into my life and I love how emollient that one is. So then I was like using that one together with the other one. And this one is just, I've slowly whittled away at it. I've slowly gotten it to the point where it is empty. And at some point I was able to pop out the stopper so I could really get it. But it's definitely not something that I would buy again. If they expanded the color range, if they made like a very, very light one, like an almost pure white, which is like what my Makeup Forever HD concealer is. If they did that, I'd be sorely tempted because I do think that this is a beautifully formulated product. That is it. That's my empties. Those are my empties from the past couple of months, I think. And you know, I was just reflecting that there were probably some things that were empty when we moved that I just recycled, like some empty containers that I just recycled. I definitely did. Maybe I didn't bring any empties over here. It may be that I shot an empties video pretty soon before we moved, but that anything that was like empty that I hadn't included in that one or that became empty in between when I shot that and when we moved, I just recycled and then started fresh when we got here. And so these are all the empties that I've created since we've moved to this new house. I bet that that's what it is. I bet that's why there's been this weird break in kind of a long time and why this is sort of like a moderate empties for December after going a couple months without filming one. But it was a good one. It was fun for me. Lots of information. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you will comment and like this video and do all the things and come back tomorrow and keep spending the month with me. And I hope that you will remember to take extra good care of yourself, because that's what will make you the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.